Welcome to the Croatian Voice, the news program from Toronto, Canada. This is your host, Mrđen-Korać. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. As expected, the Conservatives of Stephen Harper won majority in Canada's Parliament in Monday's federal election.
What a great night! And friends, I have to say it, a strong, stable, national majority Conservative government.
This is good news for Canada. As for Croatians, we too should applaud the Conservative victory. First, Harper's government has done more for Croatia in the last 3 years than all the previous governments combined. Vesela Mrdjen-Korac, a former Croatian ambassador to Canada, nicely summed up the relationship between Canada and Croatia in her interview to Radio Vrh in December last year. She points out that Harper's government has given support to Croatia in the following ways. NATO membership. The visa requirement for Croatian citizens traveling to Canada was removed. Mrđen-Korać, ex-Governor General of Canada, made a state visit to Croatia at the request of Prime Minister Stephen Harper. She also laid a wreath at the Vukovar monument to honor the fallen Croatian heroes. During his first visit to Croatia, Stephen Harper made a promise to help Croatia acquire the European Union membership as quickly as possible. Also, it should be mentioned that Stephen Harper was the first Canadian leader to visit Croatia. He even signed a memorandum of understanding which lets Croatian and Canadian youth to work or travel in each other's country for up to 1 year. Now we should ask ourselves, why is Stephen Harper so generous towards Croatians all of a sudden? Well, the answer is simple. There is a woman of Croatian origin in his cabinet. Her name is Lynn Jelić, a proud third-generation Croatian Canadian. In fact, Lynn Jelić is the first person of Croatian origin to be appointed to the Canadian cabinet. But Lynn Jelić is not the only one. We shouldn't forget the diplomatic skills of Vesela Mrdjen-Korac as well. She has been a good friend of Miss Jelić, and it's not hard to imagine them lobbying together for the Croatian cause. However, the former Croatian Premier Ivo Sanader should be also credited for Canada's sudden love affair with Croatia. If it wasn't for Croatia's significant contribution to peacekeeping role in Afghanistan and other parts of the world, the improvement in relationship between Canada and Croatia might not happen after all. Now a few words about Michael Ignatieff. His Liberal Party, once the strongest in Canada, was suddenly brought to the brink of destruction. Facing such a defeat, Ignatieff had no choice but to resign 2 days ago.
I will not be remaining as leader of this party.
His wife and staff unable to hide their shock and sorrow.
Political pundits are still debating the causes of Liberal demise. Some claim Ignatieff has lost touch with ordinary people. Not only people, I would say, he has lost touch with reality too. Michael Ignatieff is a typical elitist, a product of liberal academia, which shaped people such as Pierre Trudeau. You have a privileged and highly educated social class, the so-called cosmopolites or citizens of the world, always charming, always sophisticated. They are strong on words and grand ideas, but they lack substance. They lack real-life experience, such as daily struggles and sufferings of the ordinary people. Michael Ignatieff came to my attention back in the 1990s when he made a documentary series called Blood and Belonging: Journeys into the New Nationalism. He eventually adapted the series into a book which won many awards. The basic premise of the book can be summarized into a single sentence: I hate the ethnic nationalism. This is the mantra Michael Ignatieff continuously repeats. For example, in the episode devoted to the war in Croatia from 1991 to 1995, Michael failed to recognize the reality of the war. For him, there are no such things as right versus wrong, attacker versus defender, or victim versus aggressor. In Michael's eyes, they are all the same, all guilty of intolerance and hatred. Unfortunately, this was a prevailing attitude in the Western world in the 1990s, especially here in Canada.
Croatia is still divided, and the world's attention has shifted southwards to Bosnia. But I want to come here. This is Vukovar. I've seen a lot of ruins in the last couple of days, but this is just beyond anything I've seen before. You get numb to ruins after a while, and then you see something like this, where every single house has been pulverized. There were people living in there, families, children, old people. And finally you get sick of it, really. You get sick of all the excuses. Because nationalism is a rhetoric of excuses. I couldn't help it. It wasn't my fault. We were forced to defend Vukovar this way. We were forced to liberate Vukovar this way.
Both sides bear some responsibility for this. The Serbs shelled it to bits, and the retreating Croats dynamited what was left.
It's ironic that Michael Ignatieff's cosmopolitan aloofness was given a death blow in the latest election from the increasingly patriotic government of Stephen Harper. Harper used the same patriotic images such as flags, costumes, songs, and pageantry as did Croatian President Tudjman in the 1990s.
Canada is and always has been our country. And we want Canada to be a true north that is as strong and as free as it can be in every way that matters. The best country in the world. That's why we're here, that's why we strive, that's why we serve. Canada must reflect the true character of the Canadian people. Honorable in our dealings, faithful to our commitments, loyal to our friends. By turns, a courageous warrior and a compassionate neighbor. It is our purpose that Canada must be great. It must be great for all Canadians. It must be a country of hope and an example to the world. And only when it is these things, when Canada is all that it can be, only then can we say that our work is done.
Ali neka se ne zavaravaju. Hrvatski narod neće pokrenuti pred nikakvim prijetnjama. Draga hrvatska braćo i sestre, draga hrvatska mladeži, ovaj narod je sazrio, ovaj narod zna zašto do sada nije imao svoje države, svoje vojske, zašto se na hrvatskom moru nije vijorila hrvatska zastava. Ovaj narod je naučio iz svoje povesti i više neće nikome dopustiti da ugrozi njegovu samostalnost, njegovu slobodu, njegovu samostalnu državu.
Both Harper and Tudjman eventually ended up as winners. No such luck for Michael Ignatiev. Thanks for watching. God bless.